everyone, my name is Kayla and today's recipe is going to be smashed potatoes and kale. You heard it right, smashed potatoes and kale. Today's ingredients are going to be oil, crushed red pepper flakes, a mixture of salt and pepper, diced kale, diced potatoes, 3 garlic cloves, and scallions. Alright guys, so the first step is to heat up our pan over medium heat. So we have our pan here, it is over medium heat. And then we're going to take our oil and we're going to put 1 tablespoon of oil in the pan. So this is my tablespoon. Just going to measure that out and just put that in the pan. Okay? The way that you cut your potatoes should be like this. You just want to kind of cut it in half. It doesn't have to be any size specifically. The smaller the better, because we're actually going to mash the potatoes. So we want them to be as small as possible. I'm going to do it. Just cut them like that into small cubes. So I'm actually going to add my potatoes in now. Slowly. I want to be careful, guys. Hear that sizzle? Give it a quick stir, and then we're gonna let that cook for about 5 minutes. Alright guys, so now it's time for us to add in our kale. So the kale that I have here is actually called Tuscan, also known as lacinato kale. It's a little bit different than the kale that we see in the supermarkets, which is usually curly kale. The leaves for this lacinato kale is actually a little bit softer and a little bit easier to cook. So this is what we're going to be using today. So the way that we are going to cut it is said, so our recipe says to dice our kale. So what I'm going to do is just kind of grab it all in a bunch, and watching our fingers, I'm going to grab it like this and kind of just dice it into really small pieces, because we're going to add it to our potatoes and it's going to cook in our potatoes. And then I'm just going to add my kale in, and again I'm going to give that a quick stir. So fun fact about kale is that it's actually really loaded in vitamin C and vitamin K, so make sure you get your kale in, especially nowadays, so you can boost your immune system. Okay guys, so our kale has been cooking for about 5 minutes and it looks beautiful. The potatoes have actually browned a little bit, so I just want to show you guys what it looks like. So here's our kale and our potatoes, looking nice. Alright, so the next step is to actually add 1 cup of water. So I already pre-measured my water. I'm going to add that to the pot. We're going to give that a nice stir. And we are going to cover and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Alright everyone, so our potatoes are done. So now our next step is to smash them until they're smooth. So what I have here actually is a potato masher. If you guys have never seen this before, it's actually designed so that you can mash your potatoes up. And that's what I'm going to do now. And this is what they look like. Very nice. So we have our potatoes in there and our kale mashed up together. But if you don't have a potato masher, you can actually use any spoon to mash up your potatoes. Our next step is to add our garlic, scallions, and red pepper flakes. So for our garlic, what we're going to do is we're just going to grab the clove. What I'm going to do is I'm kind of just going to slice it like this. And then, so slice it lengthwise and then right through the middle, and I'm just gonna dice it. And once we have that cut up, we're just gonna add it to our potatoes. We're gonna take our scallions, slice them in lengthwise like this. So once we have our scallions cut up and sliced, we're going to add those in. We're also going to add our crushed red pepper flakes. So our recipe actually calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon. So I have my 1/4 teaspoon here. I'm just gonna measure that out. 1/4 teaspoon, and just add that in. And again, I'm just gonna give that a quick stir. And right after we add those ingredients, we're just gonna add salt and pepper to taste. So remember, I have my mixture of salt and pepper, so I have a mix of both in here. Just to taste. And for our final product, we have our smashed potatoes. So now I am going to just serve that in a bowl. And let me just show you guys what it looks like. Smashed potatoes and kale. Hence the word smashed. Now let's do a taste test. So good, guys. It is packed with flavors. I can taste the garlic, the scallions. I can even taste a little bit of spice because of the crushed red pepper. So good. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.